chapter 9 of How to Steal a Dog. This is the last recording for this week. So in your Book Buddy entry, you need to include events that happened in chapter 7, 8, and 9. And then, of course, the responder will answer the buddy's questions and then kind of add their explanation of why they think the way they think. So in chapter 8, things are just going from bad to worse for Georgina and her mom and Toby. So in chapter 8, mom is crying in the car and they're at what happened. And finally she said she got fired from her job at the cleaners. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still wondering, what is up with Georgina? I get that they are in a bad situation, but I agree with Georgina's mom that she is making things worse than they already are with kind of her bad attitude. So I don't know why she's being so mean to her mom, especially about the part yeah, you should just go, just leave. And I thought that was very unnecessary. And then, of course, they get to the house and it has a big X boarding up the door and then a sign that says private property, keep out. So I'm definitely wondering, did Beverly actually know the person that said they could use the house? Or did mom make up the whole thing about Beverly saying that they could use it? And now I'm wondering, whose house is it? And that is where we left off in chapter 8. She still wants to, a go for stealing a dog. So I wonder what's going to happen in chapter 9. Maybe she'll finally steal Willie. That night, I dreamed Toby was a dog. He sat on the back seat beside me with his head stuck out the window, his ears flapping in the wind. We drove and drove and drove, and then we pulled into a long, winding road that led to a castle. Mama stopped the car in front of the giant front door of the castle and said, "Here's our new house." Toby the dog started crying and saying how he wanted to go back home where he belonged. And when I woke up, I peered down at Toby, curled up on the floor of the car, sucking his thumb. It was so hot the windows were all steamed up. I rolled my window partway down. When I leaned back and stared out at the lit-up sign of the Brushy Creek Lutheran Church, I had gone to that church one time when I was little with my friend Racine Wickham. We had made May baskets, weaving strips of pink and yellow construction paper in and out, in and out. I glued a pink pipe cleaner handle on mine and filled it with clover flowers for Mama. I remember how on the way home I had been all squished in the back seat beside Racine's brother and had clutched that May basket in my lap. I couldn't wait to give it to Mama, even though the clover flowers had wilted and were lying all droopy in the bottom of the basket. But when I got home, Mama and Daddy were yelling at each other and wouldn't even look at me when I tried to show them my May basket. Racine had moved away to Florida, and now here I was back here at the very same church, sleeping in my car. When the sun came up, we headed over to the pancake house to wash up and get some toast. The bread we had in the milk crate in the trunk of the car had turned green with mold, and Mama had tossed it out the window right into the church parking lot. "I want pancakes," Toby said, frowning down at his toast. Mama sipped her coffee, squinting through the steam, and said no. "Why not?" Toby whined. Mama slammed the cup down, swishing coffee onto the table. "Because you can't have everything you want," she said. I ate my toast and watched Mama scoop up the little plastic tubs of jelly into her purse. "Y'all go over to the Y after school and wait till I get there, okay?" she said. "The Y?" "Yes, Georgina, the Y. The Darby YMCA was nothing but a room in the basement for the town hall. Some kids went there after school to play games and stuff while their parents were at work. We can't go there," I said. Mama sighed. "Just do like I say, Georgina." "But you have to sign up and stuff," I said. "You can't just go there, and I bet you have to pay." But Mama wouldn't even answer me. She counted out some coins, slapped them on the table, and headed out to the car. leaving me and Toby to scramble after her. That day in school, all I could think about was how I was going to steal that little dog, Willie. While Mr. White read stuff about the Revolutionary War, I pulled my purple notebook out of my backpack and flipped to the How to Steal a Dog page. I read through what I had so far. Everything seemed pretty good except for the problem about where to keep the dog after you steal him. I thought and thought about it, and then, just like a light bulb going on, I got an idea. I could keep Willie at that boarded-up old house. There was a tiny little porch around back off the kitchen. It was kind of rotten and all, but a dog wouldn't care about that. And that house wasn't too far from Whitmer Road. I could walk that far, no problem. At last, I thought things were finally starting to look better. At lunch, I asked Luann if me and Toby could go to her house after school. I didn't tell her we were supposed to go to the Y. I don't think so, Luann said. How come? Luann fiddled with the buttons on her shirt. I got some stuff to do. Like what? She shrugged. Just some stuff with Mama. I twirled my spaghetti around and around on my fork and listened to the girls at our table going on and on about some movie they all seen. Then Luann piped in and said how she had just loved that movie too. I kept on twirling my spaghetti at the lunch table. I wanted to float right up through the ceiling and right out into the blue sky. I didn't belong there with those girls. I hadn't seen that movie. I couldn't buy those bracelets they all wore. They had been over at the mall while I'd been washing my underwear in the bathroom sink at Walgreens. So I just sat there twirling and thinking about Willie. After school, me and Toby walked over to the town hall. I'm not going down there, I told him, nodding toward the basement window. You can if you want to, but I'm not. The sound of kids playing and balls bouncing drifted out of the open window. Toby shook his head. Then I'm not going neither, he said. I tossed my backpack on a nearby bench. We've got to find some string or something, I said to Toby. For what? For Willie, remember? Oh. So we walked up and down the street, looking in gutters and dumpsters and trash cans. I was just about to give up when Toby hollered, Here's some, Georgina. I ran over to the curb where Toby was holding a stack of newspaper tied with heavy string. Yes, I pumped my fist and high-fived Toby. Good job! Toby looked just pleased as punch. I untied the string and stuffed it into my pocket. Let's go back and wait for Mama, I said. It was nearly dark by the time we saw our car come sputtering up the street toward the town hall, leaving a trail of black smoke behind it. Sorry, y'all, Mama said when we climbed in the back seat. We're starving, Toby said. I know, sweetheart, Mama said. I brought y'all some chicken. Toby dug through the bag in the front seat and pulled out a piece of greasy fried chicken. I got a job, Mama said. I took a piece of chicken and pulled the soggy skin off. Where? I said, dropping the chicken skin back into the bag. The coffee shop over by the hardware store. She glanced at herself in the rear view mirror. I wondered if she saw the same tired and worried face that I did. Well, that's good, I said. She took a swig out of a soda can. I guess so, she said, then pulled the car to the side of the road and stopped. What's the matter? I said. She shook her head. I'm just so darn tired of all this, she said. My stomach clumped up in a knot, and I wished I hadn't eaten that chicken. Why was Mama acting so sad? I needed her to act like everything was okay. Nobody said anything after that. We just sat there in that car, that was our home. Crammed in with all of our stuff, the smell of greasy fried chicken hovered in the still air around us. Mama broke the silence when she slapped her hands on the steering wheel and said, Anyway, so now I'll be at work when you all get out of school. So come on over to the coffee shop and wait in the car, okay? I ran my dog stealing plans around inside my head. This would be perfect. The coffee shop wasn't far from Whitmer Road. I would grab Willie, hide him on the porch of the old house, and then get on back to the car, no problem. Mama wouldn't even know if me and Toby were there or not. That night, I fingered the string in my pocket and watched Mama helping Toby with his homework. Then huddled together in the front seat with the flashlight propped up on the dashboard, shadows danced around around on the ceiling as they worked. I pulled out my notebook and turned to How to Steal a Dog. I wrote April 14, then beside it that step 4, use this list to make sure you are ready to steal a dog. Number 1, are you sure you have found the right dog? Yes or no? Number 2, can you open the gate? Yes or no? Number 3, do you have some rope or string? Yes, no. Number 4, do you have a good place to keep the dog? Yes, no. I read through each one and put a check mark beside yes every time. After the list, I wrote, if you can check yes for every one, then you are ready to steal a dog. I thumped the pencil eraser against my teeth, then I added, P.S. Remember that you have to wait until nobody is home at the house where the dog lives. P.P.S. Don't forget to take your string, rope, or leash. I closed my notebook and pushed it back down inside my trash bag. And when my guilty conscience started hollering at me, telling me I was doing the wrong thing, I pushed that down too. There was no doubt about it. I really, really was going to steal a dog. And that is the end of chapter 9. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your day.